Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Once again, this is your man Roy coming at you with a new video on the new month of September, side quest and other useful information. It's a bit of a long-winded title for what effectively is the monthly side quest update, but there is just a few other little bits of detail in this video that you might come to find useful, good to know, all the rest of that jazz. So we'll cover just those lovely other little bits and pieces as well, but the main information will be, as usual in these videos, the side quest information, what we need to be doing and how we can do it. So first of all, we're going to go in and have a look at the main side quest that has been released for this month, which is Shang-Chi's Close Quarters challenge. So this is very similar to a challenge style that we've had in the past in the game, but if you are new to the game you won't know that. But effectively what this is, it's a continuous progression battle that builds up to the act and chapter boss, and then allows you to continue or not. So we'll take a look at it. So in chapter 1 we have 4 acts that we can complete, each with a set of paths in them. Now I've completed the first one just to kind of give us an example of what we're looking at. So each obviously of the 4 acts will increase in difficulty level. But the good thing about this style of questing is that it gives us the option to just do one path at a time and not the whole path, and you'll see what we mean when we go in. So you always start off and you have a path selected that allows you to choose one of 6 paths within each of the acts. Now the champions that you face will be the same. So the champions in this particular quest will be She-Hulk, Sunspot, Hitmonkey, Mr. Negative, Tigra with a Shang-Chi boss. So that won't change regardless of which act and path that you do. It will always be that order as well. But what it does is you would historically normally start with path 1 and then continue to path 2, path 3, but you can see I've completed this first path here, so it has selective nodes and they do change between acts as well, so always make sure and have a look at the nodes before you go in, because the champion that you use to defeat that particular enemy in the last path might not necessarily be suitable going forward just because of a node buff ability or a debuff that just makes that champion less viable. Okay, so in this case we have started at the main path and we have chosen path A when we've come down, and we've beat the enemies all the way through to Tigra. So you then get presented with a chest, and the chest is always after the 5th champion enemy, and then you have the option whether to go to the boss, path A, or you can continue to path B and continue path B, and path B has the exact same. Once you complete path B, you can either choose A to the boss or choose path B to carry on path C, and so on and so forth. So you do have the option of basically doing all 6 paths in one run. But if you're working through one and you get clipped, you just need that little bit of a time out, you can complete the boss and then jump back in and start from the path after the one that you've completed. So it just allows you a little bit more flexibility rather than having to do it as a one-hit wonder, to take that necessary break if you need to, whatever the case may be, to do it justice. And then that theme will carry on for path 1, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4. Or Quest 1, Quest 2, Quest 3, Quest 4, whichever terminology or phrase you prefer. So the champions themselves, they're not the easiest, depending on where your skill level is at in the game. Hitmonkey, Tiger and Mr. Negative, I would say, are the 3 that, if you haven't battled them before or you're a little bit out, maybe try and find a duel to practice against their abilities, their special abilities, get to know the characters, so on and so forth. They can be just a little bit annoying. So make sure you're well versed in that. I'm just going to see if it allows us to do this. No, so that is side quest number 1. That's been released this month is the Shang-Chi's Close Quarters Challenge. Now, Chapter 2 is a 6th path continuous challenge with 6-star massively ranked up champions, or that's how they normally are. Certainly the last couple of challenges we've had, you'll find that Chapter 2 is one continuous run and the champions are substantially harder than Chapter 1. So when we look at the rewards, try and not get your hopes set too much on those. Again, I'll have a look through it. I'll see what the challenge is like. But historically, even I play with my roster and skill. Unless you are really cracked or you are willing to spend the resources required in terms of revives, etc., to get through the content, I don't really indulge in those types of challenges, just because I don't see how a 5-star Nexus at my level is sufficient for spending dozens of revives, or dozens, hundreds of units worth of revives. It doesn't balance out for me. And yeah, a 10% class 5 selector and a 10% fragment gem would be nice, as would 1.5 6-star shards. But in all, for the rewards, I can't say that I think it's worth it. But you do get ongoing rewards as you play through. You get your chest bonuses at the end of each path, and they can stack up depending on your progression level and what resources you need. So I would still say complete Chapter 1 where you can, but go as far as you can and then make your own mind up if you want to spend the units going forward at that. Okay, so side quest number 1 is Shang-Chi's Close Quarter. Now we do have solo objectives as well. I'm just going to have a look at these. Am I in the right one? No, I'm not. It's in here. So each week on a Wednesday, I believe, we're going to get 4 sets, or depending on your progression level, you're going to get a set of solo objectives that you need to complete depending on your progression level. So as you can see here, because I'm Thronebreaker, I have got all 4, Cavalier, Uncollected, Conqueror and Proven, and you basically need to complete the challenge, the details, in order to get the rewards behind. Okay, so in this case, it's get points by winning fights with or against a star variety of Bishop, Iceman, Storm or Kitty Pryde in quests, arenas or incursions. So unfortunately, dual targets in this one will not count towards a challenge, and sometimes it can be just a little bit challenging depending on your roster. If you have a 6, 5, 4 or 3-star version of any one of those 4 champions, then you are set. You complete a number of fights with that champion and you get the rewards. So we'll have a look, beat them, win 2 fights with those champions, you get X reward, win 2 fights with that champion, you get X reward, so on and so forth. So it's a total of 20 fights with each champion for each of the progression levels to get your maximum reward. That's all fine and well if you have those champions. If you don't have those champions, it's going to take you just a little bit more effort. Now, depending on your progression level, will depend on the level of star champion that you need to defeat in order to get the rewards. We have a challenge, which is the other side one that is in the side quest, which is the up, up, down, down challenge, which will present us with a star variety of Iceman. So if you look at the top one there, which I've completed, we have a 6-star version of Iceman. The challenge possibly behind that, if you have maybe just scraped through in these challenges, is that you have to defeat a Human Torch before you get to Iceman. The good thing about this side challenge though is it's energy free, so there's no other requirements other than skill. If you don't manage to defeat Human Torch, or if you just get kicked in the behind by Iceman, you start again, no problem. But it will require the right champion. You will need your immunity champions to get, first of all, to Iceman, getting past Human Torch, and then you'll need your immunity champion to beat Iceman, because certainly at this level, his cold snap damage is freaking insane. I think my first run through it, I got clapped, and I had to use another champion. I had Colossus, I think, in the team at that point, and I think the cold snap done approximately 50% damage to my other champions. Before you even getting hit and block damage and all the rest. So that is an option depending on your progression level. So if you're Cavalier, you will need a 6-star version of one of the champions to defeat. And the easiest way, if you are at Cavalier level, may potentially being fighting this Iceman. Unfortunately, I haven't managed to find a 6-star version of any of the other champions that is easy to get to or without spending ridiculous resource. I'm still on it. If I do find one, I'll post a note into the comment section below. But at this precise moment in time, this would be my suggestion that if you're at Cavalier level, you've beaten 6.2, you should hopefully have the champion in the roster and the skill to defeat this one. Okay, that would be my guess. As I progress through maybe the monthly quest, there might be something in there. I know there's something, the 6-star champions in there. I haven't had a chance to look at the monthly full quest. The video for that will be going up later on when we do the run through. So there may be another option in there. We'll have a look. But that would be for a 6-star version, or any star version of Iceman in the side challenge, which is energy free. And as we work down the levels within that, it just whittles down the star variety, which we'll have a look in a second. Oh, this is really slow today, come on. Okay, so yeah, the difficulty is, so Face has the 6-star, Heal has the 5-star, Tweener has the 4-star, and Worker has the 3-star variety of Iceman. Now, if you're not looking to do those quests, or you're at that stage where you just don't have a counter to, say, Human Torch or Iceman, and you're looking for an easier champion, the other obvious choice for beating the champion is Storm. Bishop, after his buff, can be just a little bit annoying to defeat. So if you can find a Storm, then your quid's in. Now, fortunately, I have managed to find a Storm for each of the levels other than Cavalier. So I'm going to run through those just now. So if you're looking for a 5-star version of Storm, if you are at the level of Act 5, Act 5, Chapter 2, Quest number 1 has a Storm on the path. Now it is a little bit energy heavy. It will take you a little bit of energy to actually get to the Storm to defeat in the first place. But if we go into here and we take the left hand side path, you beat an OG Black Panther and Loki. Now it's got Power Shield on it as a node, and class relationships are reversed. Those two champions are not difficult to beat. If you are at the uncollected level, then those should be relatively easy. That's the only easy access one I've found so far, but again, I will keep looking. Or if anyone watching the video knows of another 5-star version of Storm that is kicking about and readily accessible, then drop a note into the comments for everyone that they can see it, and let's help everyone out here. So 5-star version of Storm, and you rinse and repeat, but that is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yeah, I think you're looking at a good over 20 energy per run, and as we said, we're looking at 20 defeats for this. So again, the easiest option in its entirety would be if you have a 5-star version of Storm, to use that champion to win any fight in a quest, arena or incursion. Arenas, you're talking hit or miss. So you're not guaranteed to come across a champion that you're looking to defeat. So I would say it's possible, but it's a rather unreliable method. Now Conqueror I'm proving slightly easier. So Conqueror, we're looking for a 4-star version of Storm. Now that one is relatively easy. Act 4, Chapter 1, quest number 5, I think, has a 4 energy storm, which is just, as you go in it, I think it's 2 clicks away, and then you're there for the 4-star variety. It took me so long to look through these this morning. Yeah, so we've got a 2-star Awakened Storm just up, and again, depending on your luck, you might get a chest in there, you might get other items on that individual square, so you might get a little bit of resource, but again, you can't claim it unless you complete the paths, and I don't think you want to waste the energy completing the length of these paths unless it has anything else on it that you're sorely needing. It is a fairly chunky path. So forward proven, a 4 energy path there, which should do the trick. And then I managed to find 2 for proven. One I wasn't too happy with because it was a full length lane leading to a boss, so again it was quite energy heavy. And then I did manage to find a 3-star storm that is, I think, a 2 energy path. So this one is located in Act 3. So Act 3, Chapter 1, Quest number 3. And in there we should find, if if I've written it down right, because I was losing the will to live when I was looking this up. Yeah, a 2 energy 3-star storm. So that's probably the easiest one of the lot if we're looking out with the side quest and if you don't have that particular champion in your roster. But ideally, with the availability of star crystals at the minute and champion crystals, hopefully that storm that you thought was going to be useless has now just become your best friend. And it's any quest, guys, so no matter where your completion, you can use that star rarity of champion and go back and auto fight Act 1 if you want, or Act 2. Backstory, daily catalyst quest, or is it proving ground, or whatever it is. Just auto fight, certainly for the higher star varieties, that people may have, that'll be an easy option and no effort on your part. But the cheapest resource wise is that side quest, the up, down, down challenge with the Iceman contained within it. Now, the other thing we just wanted to mention on this video is a new feature which they have released with the last update, which is preview. So I think this is for any quest that you haven't completed. I need to kind of play about with it because it seems to come up sometime and not others. But in this case, you can preview the path without setting your team up and without launching in. So it just saves you a little bit of time. And the kind of features within that as well. So it takes you straight into Area 18. You can see the quest rewards. You can see the quest details for the champions. You can kind of count them off, and if there's any kind of hidden paths, you can kind of, work it out, so to speak. But on the top right hand side here, so we've got an additional button. So this one would be where you start, which is obviously down here next to the 4-star chest. But the one with the little flaming icon snaps you to the boss, because sometimes in these quests the bosses can be so hard to find. So by pressing that little flame button icon, takes you immediately to the boss, and then you can also have a look at his nodes and so on and so forth, and kind of determine if you are ready for that level of quest. And it means when you back out, you're not stuck with having to go back in and exit the quest, which you did before when you begun the quest, because that was you actually taking part in it. So that's just a kind of nifty little feature that they've added in for that I think will be really, really good. So the only other 2 things to mention on the update that I think is quite interesting, purely because we've done some overview videos in the past on the channel, is having a look at 2 of the champion updates, and press the right button, that would be helpful. So the first champion we're going to look at, just briefly, just to, in a bit of an overview, is Miles Morales. So Miles Morales was definitely memed here. I actually found him, when he was released and for quite a wee while, rather useful. His kind of Venom Blast ability to stun an opponent, randomly or off the special too was good. He seemed to do not too bad crit damage, so I actually didn't mind him. But he has had a buff. One of the great things is that when performing a well-timed block, Miles will not attempt to utilise his personal evade or miss. Historically, even if you tried to block, Miles would use one of his charges to evade, unless you had the Spider-Man symbiote or stealth suit synergy. So you had to kind of bring in another Spider-Man champion to get that ability. So it has helped just that little bit. And he's got a kind of more of an increased chance to persistently evade, as opposed to what he had before, up to a maximum of 3 charges. So yeah, he's had a buff. I haven't had a good chance to play about with him yet, but he certainly seems to deal a lot of damage, certainly off his special too. And if we manage to get debuffs activated on the opponent, then that kind of shock damage will increase as the longer that the fight has gone on for each kind of unique debuff that's been activated. So really, really useful utility there, and a couple of other synergies activated as well. Also, we've got Spider-Ham and Miles, or Spider-Man 2099, sorry. So hopefully that will prove fairly well for that champion there. And then the other champion that's had the buff is Gamora. I think it's more just of a numbers tweak, I think, because she had a lot of kind of ability with her Godslayer blade as well, with Fury buffs, cruelty buffs, but in this case, the more buffs that she has, her attacks cannot miss, so it allows you to bypass some annoying evades, I think, like Ebony Maw. I think Vulture sometimes has a miss mechanic, you Ghost, so on and so forth, the champions that has that. So it takes a little bit of skill. Again, I haven't really had a chance to play about with her, but I'm expecting good things when we do, also because we've not long since got the 6-star variety in the roster going forward. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. It's slightly different for our side quest update. We're not really going through a fight as such, but it's giving the information there, certainly about the Shang-Chi challenge, just how it works. Having a look at certainly where you can find some of these champions for the side quest. One of the other things that we do need to mention is, where is it? It's in red mail. So it's important to note that there's 4 solo objectives every Wednesday at cavalry level, or depending on your skill level. However, the final group of solo objectives are named Final Preparations. This will appear in week 5. You must complete at least one of the Final Preparation solo objectives in order to access the October events. So you have to make sure that on week 5 that you log in and complete at least one of the sets of challenges. So there will be another video going up at week 5 when those quests come on, guys, so that we can walk you through, see what the challenges are, and similar to this video, what the best way to complete them, or what we need to be doing with them. Okay, so there will be a video going up. So again, if you've got the notify button hit for this video or any other videos on the channel, you'll know when that new video goes live. You'll know it's week 5, and you'll know that you need to get those completed in order to get access to the October event quests. So really, really good mention and must to make sure that you don't miss that. Okay, so I think that's where we're at, and we'll stop the video at that point. As always, guys, thanks very much for watching. If you did like it, make sure to hit the thumbs up. If you have any comments, any ideas where to find these champions, or any other hints, tips and tricks that you've found that work for you, leave a note in the comment section below, and always notify and subscribe when you know that new videos are going live on the channel. But until next time, folks, take care, all the best, and we'll see you soon. Thanks very much.